So in that last class, we saw the importance of salutation. That's why Namaha, Namaha, Namaha. Everywhere it started Jayaya Jaya Bhadraya, Hayarshvaya Namo Namaha. Last two verses that we saw. Namo Namah Sahasranso Adityaya Namo Namaha. And finally also we saw verse number 18. Namah Ugraya Viraya Sarangaya Namo Namaha. Namah Padma Prabodhaya Prachandaya Namastute. So when the salutation was being highlighted, there we discussed where there is Namaha, there is no Mamaha. Means sense of mind becomes reduced. Namaha changes to Namama. Also we discussed this particular point, just I am trying to bring it back, that regarding Padma Prabodhaya, the Padma, the lotus, is connected to Surya. So when Surya arises, lotus blossoms. When Surya sets, also this lotus also closes itself. So there is a strong connection between this lotus and Surya. Interestingly, we look at that the lotus stands for prosperity. In fact, Lakshmi's favorite is lotus. Forget Lakshmi, every god loves lotus. That's another point. So when we look at this prosperity or the goddess of prosperity called Lakshmi, who is being seated on the lotus. That's why also the Surya Bhagavan becomes not only the embodiment of prosperity, also bestows prosperity on the people. That's why wherever there is Surya, there has to be prosperity, there is no doubt in it. That's why in the chart we look at lot of aspects, and of course we do look at, even though Bruhaspati and other aspect we look at, but Surya, if it is in high position, that's a different thing altogether. Okay, with this let us go further because we have to complete this text or else we'll drag unnecessarily. Let us chant verse number 19. Brahmishanaচ্युदेशाय Suraya-aditya varchase Vaswate sarvabhakshaya Rudraya vapushe namaha. Brahmishanaচ্युदेशाय Suraya-aditya varchase Vaswate sarvabhakshaya Rudraya vapushe namaha. All this concept we have already seen. It's like most of them are repetition, nothing much. Because now it has to talk in different way. Now here is being highlighted. Surya Bhagavan is Brahma, Achyuta and Ishana. Means Brahma, Vishnu and Ishwara. So when he says this thing very carefully, also we need to look at. So that means the Surya becomes the creator. Of course the Surya becomes the sustainer and Surya becomes annihilator. Actually this form also is being discussed little carefully in the same verse. So when we say Surya is the creator, that we have seen the concept. With the heat, with the light, Surya creates. And of course because of its light and heat, it sustains. Now question may arise, then okay fine, I understand. Surya becomes creator, Surya becomes sustainer. Whatever this, destroyer or annihilator or the one who brings the change, who is the cause of the change. That he himself says. Next he says, look, Suraya, in fact the word he is going to bring it called Raudraya Vapushe Namaha. In that we'll try to see what is that meaning. So here he says, Suraya. Suraya means the one who actually, okay, we have got two called Sura and Asura. Sura means generally we say Devatas. Asura means just opposite of Sura. This is one version. So when here it says Sura, Sura means generally those who move freely in the sky. That's why Suryan, others name is called Sura Dirgha. So Sura, Asura is short, okay? Sura, Asura. Whereas here is Sura, there is a difference, okay? The one who moves, Dirgha Sura. So the one who moves freely in the sky. In fact, Surya moves in the sky, so that's why he is called as the Sura. So other name of Surya. And interestingly becomes Aditya Varchase. So Aditya Varchase, there is brilliance. So there is, Vajas, there is Ojas, there is Tejas. So this Vajas, Ojas, Tejas in different format, different ways. Now it's being highlighted that in the form of a solar orb. So when you look at the solar orb, how the brilliance is there. So that's why here it's being highlighted that look, whatever we are talking about Surya, we are not talking about the physical aspect of the solar orb, we are talking about the presiding deity that makes that solar orb to be brilliant. So that in the form of a brilliance, that in the solar orb. So that is called Aditya Varchase. And of course Bhaswate. Bhaswate means again the one who is in the form of brilliance. And interestingly, becomes Sarvabhakshaya. That is the point to be noted. Sarvabhakshaya means that's very nicely. Sarvabhakshaya means the one who eats, literal translation, the one who eats everything. I remember Pujya Swamiji used to say a story regarding this. So there was a person, and of course wanted to be smart, a Muslim. So, look, what is your name? Jahan Khan. So that means what? I can eat anything and everything, okay? Jahan Khan, to prove himself that he is the best Jahan Khan. Okay. Now, the other person did not have anything to say. Now when he asked back, hey, what is your name? So he has to say something. So he said, hey, don't worry, my name was something interesting. What is? My name is called Tujhe Khan. Means, I am the eater of you. If you can eat everything, let me eat you. That's all. So why should I eat everything? Let me eat you. Chapter is closed. So when somebody becomes silly, somebody becomes stupid, you have to also be another stupid to answer that fellow, or else you cannot survive. However, so how this is Jahaka and Tujeka, it works. So here is a Sarvabhakshaya. So it destroys or it eats up everything. How is it possible? So to support that, very nicely says, of course, in the form of what? Raudraya Vapushe Namaha. So when it says Raudraya Vapushe Namaha, so who's Bapu? Bapu means body. Appearance. In the form of Rudra. So when it says form of Rudra, very ferocious. Of course, we have got another name of Rudra, we will see in some other context. Rudra means the one who is the destroyer of all sort of afflictions, all sort of conflicts. That's why we have especially sannyasis. Every day chant Rudra, what we call as Namaka. Namaha, 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 Namaha. Okay? Whereas other people have to chant Namakam and Chamakam together. Sanchame, Mayachame, Chachame, Chame, give me, give me, give me, give me. You understand? So this Namakam and Chamakam is in a package. If you observe, this is the together goes. Whereas for a sannyasi, only Rudra. Okay, Namakam, Chamakam only we take two, like Sanchame, and we combine with Ekachame. This is the package we create. So that we don't get into two details. That regular form of chanting. So here he says, okay, Rudra means the one who is a destroyer of any sort of affliction, any sort of conflict, any sort of dukkham, any sort of sorrow in you. So here he says, in the form of Rudra, Rudra also ferocious. Remember, unless you are ferocious, unless you are stronger than the situation, can you destroy it? That's why here is being said that when it becomes the destroyer of everything, that means the brilliance becomes heat. So the sun's heat destroys everything. In fact, next verse we'll be seeing that later on, how it will happen, what it happens. Let us now read it, okay? Okay, very good. Tamoghnaya himaghnaya Satrughnaaya mitatmane Krutagnaghnaaya devaya Jyotisham pataye namah. Tamoghnaaya himaghnaya Satrughnaaya mitatmane Krutagnaghnaaya devaya Jyotisham pataye namah. So again, another format, nothing much. Tamoghnaya. So the one who is a destroyer of darkness. Tamas means darkness. And of course laziness, that we have seen this aspect too. That's why Surya always gives sadbuddhi. So at least good buddhi. That's why Surya always good, and especially we have seen this point. If anybody's, I'm talking astrologically, if anybody's chart Surya is in a good place, proper place, definitely that person will be famous. If that person becomes famous, that means the person must have taken right decision at right time. Can you see this point? Unless you take right decision at right time, can you become famous? Try. Because, to become famous, there is a knack. It's not that everybody can become famous. You can have everything with you. But if you do not take the right decision at the right time, like how we say very carefully about chess. This is a beautiful way of talking in the chess. Chess, if you do not know how to make a proper move, if your movement goes a little bit here and there, you are caught or not. That's why sometimes when days together they spend to make a move. All these grandmasters, you understand? Days together. I don't know what do they think, okay? God knows. There's nothing I understand. Till now I don't understand, okay? Please don't ask me further. Because to take right movement at the right time, that means the decision making faculty should be that sharp, as I was talking in the morning class. Only when there is grace in you. Or else what will happen? It is exactly like we say, eclipsed sun you have. So most of the time we have eclipsed sun. You understand? Eclipsed sun means right time when you want to take decision, something overtakes you, then you make a mistake. Then you try to break your head. Oh God, what did I do? Oh God. Then of course you get acquainted, you forget. Then again, get up, again you do the same thing. So that's why Surya is a remover not only of tamas, the darkness, also gives the right buddhi, sharpness of your thinking, right time. However, also it is called as himaghnaya. So hima means, actually hima is called ice. So it stands for cold. So here it says that it is the destroyer of, or the one who removes cold. So again, cold is related to nothing but your laziness, your dullness. That's why when your body is cold, mind also becomes cold. Of course, when mind is warm, body is also equally warm. So that's why it removes the coldness. And Satrugnaya, same thing. Satrughna means the one who is a destroyer of enemies. So when you look at the one who is a destroyer of enemies, and who is the enemy? Remember, there is nobody outside who can be our enemy. So our thinking process is our enemy. And especially when you look at our life, whenever the thinking process does not support my, let us say, way of functioning. And remember, what is thinking process? Thinking, the process is nothing, mixture of the present situation and past. All our thinking process is nothing. The mixture of, mainly, of course some factor of future is there, but mainly based on past present memory, we pick up present thoughts, thinking of future. That is called thinking process in short. Look at any thought that you have. All your thought is really related to your past first. From the past, that is the triggering point. What we call as subconscious mind. That is what your, television is being tuned. Now antenna is open. So you have to need to catch the frequencies. Those days antenna, nowadays there is no antenna. Okay, here is everything digitalized, but there is frequency. Okay, so you catch the frequency. Now the frequency catching is nothing but the present scenario. Of course, when you start catching the present scenario, now there is small iota of your future also involved. That is what in short our thinking process. So now what he says is, now when my thinking process does not go, thinking process doesn't go properly or in a healthy way with my present situation, present way of living. Now, will there be any conflict in me or not? Okay, one day I can allow, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. How long can I do? I cannot. Then finally, that my thinking process becomes enemy to you or enemy to me. If I know exactly what is what, either I will be enemy or my living will be enmyful, or the thinking process. But here interestingly we look at the thinking process should be enemy to me, not the present situation. Can you see this point? But generally most of us what we do, we don't look at the thinking process as enemy, but we look at ourselves as enemy or the present situation as enemy. Can you see this point? So when I look at me as enemy, of course I destroy myself. When I look at the present situation as enemy, of course I want to run away. So here is being highlighted that Satrugnaya. So the one who allows you to see that your thinking process is nothing but your enemy. And of course the one who destroys that. So that means no time you can really completely rely upon your thinking process. This is the point to understand. If you depend upon Surya, if you really do Surya Upasana, you cannot completely rely upon your thinking process, because any moment your thinking process will create some type of obstacles, some type of hindrances, some type of doubts in your mind. Whether you like it or not, you will succumb to it. You will accept that as it is yours. That is what happens in our life. So that's why here is very carefully being highlighted. Satru means this is the process of Satru. Satru means enemy. Okay, fine. Because of that reason, then you can say, look, Swamiji, why you are talking all these things very nicely, okay? I think something is not right. He gives these 2 points, okay? Amitatmane and Krutagnaya. That's why I took this point, okay? Also I am giving you Krutagnaya. So how it is? First says Amitatmane. So Amitatmane means the one who is beyond all limitations. So if you look at when it says that who is beyond all limitations, let us look at from the standpoint of, because it's a very simple standpoint. As the science physics highlights that this present sun that we have is some 30,000 or 40,000 bigger than our earth size. Okay? Some 30,000 or 40,000 we have to look at. You can Google it and find out, okay? So all this Google will tell better. So imagine. So how big is it? This is relatively big, okay? We are not relatively unlimited. It's not real unlimited, because you know what is unlimited, okay? That which present in 3 periods of time is called unlimited. So if it is created, Surya is being created in time, and of course it is going to get destroyed in time. Okay, it happens to be now. Definitely we cannot say it is unlimited. But here we are talking about it. We are not talking about the gross aspect of Surya. Even if you look at the gross Surya, as Bhutaha, as element, imagine such a big. We are talking about the presiding deity. That's why we have Aditya in every yuga. And each yuga, Surya name is different. So when the new creation comes, again the Surya, that means that presiding deity, how like a human body, or let us say a jiva, an individual, takes birth in different life. That's why if you look at, we all are here. We not just happens to be here. Hey, please understand, definitely we must have met each other somewhere or something. Some relation must be there, in some form or other. That is how the teaching continues. That is how the life continues. That is how the relationship continues. And of course some of them drops, because when knowledge comes, you will drop. Who drops when? God only knows. Resolves. If it is not resolved, then definitely again continues. But wherever we have stopped, from there we are starting. We are continuing. So if this is the case, also in the name of the God, the totality, or a given aspect of the totality, better that word, also they have also, because of prayer and other things, samashti prarabdha, they have their own body, they have different. So that's why here is being said very nicely, that relatively unlimited what we talk here. Here we talk about the presiding deity of the sun god, definitely is unlimited. And second one, the next one is called Krutagna Dhnaya. This is the point. So Krutagna Dhnaya means the one who, let us say, destroys that ungratefulness in me, or the one who punishes who is ungrateful, or when you are ungrateful, or the one who doesn't allow you to become ungrateful. So that's why this point is very carefully connected, that only Satrugna Dhnaya, what is it? Satru, the enemy, that is my thinking. Unless that is being destroyed, that is being shown, or the limitations of my thinking is unless and until is being shown to me, I cannot become grateful in my life. Because mind job is to pick up, hey, I know everything. My job is to say, hey, I know. Because that is how the thinking we associate. That is what we claim. Because thought comes to me without my knowledge. Do I say I know or not? I think or not? I never say in my day-to-day life that I think. Always I say, sorry, I made a mistake. I never say that a thought comes to me. Always I say, I think, I know. That I get into that. So when this happens automatically, without my knowledge, okay, transaction level is different. But when that becomes strong in me, automatically I become ungrateful. So being ungrateful means what? Not acknowledging others. Can you see this point? It's not that you have to be, do something to become ungrateful. No. Not acknowledging others. Not acknowledging the situation, surroundings, for you to be present, not for your growth. Growth is another point, okay? Not acknowledging others for your presence, you to be present. That itself is called being ungrateful. So that's why the one who destroys, or the one who is the cause of the destruction of your ungrateful thinking, okay, Krutagna, and of course Devaya, the one who is the Lord, and who is what sort of Lord he is? Jyotisham Pataye Namaha. My salutations to who art? The Lord of all the Jyotisham, luminous bodies. So the one who is the Lord of all luminous body, my salutations to that. Okay, that's good point. Now, next, please read. Tapta chami karabhaya haraye vishwakarmane namastamo vinighnaya ruchaye loka sakshine. Tapta chami karabhaya haraye vishwakarmane namastamo vinighnaya ruchaye loka sakshine. And continues. Namaha, my salutation. So my salutation to what? Tapta chami karabhaya. So tapta chami karabhaya means that when especially the gold is melted. Okay? So the shining gold, melted gold, how it is shining is another way of looking at it. So that means what? The one who is shining like gold. So my salutations to that. And of course, why? I am very clear. Why I want to do that? Because the one who is called Haraye, the one, that's why name of the Hari we call, what is Hari? Harati Papaniti Hari. Same thing also Hara. So Hari Hara, that means the one who removes the suffering, the impact of bad karma. Papa means impact of bad karma. So the one who removes, the one who destroys the impact of bad karma, what you can tell in short called suffering. So the one who removes the suffering is called Hari. Here Haraye. So now my salutation to that, because after all you are Hari, you will remove my suffering. And of course, who happens to be Vishwakarmani. So when he says Vishwakarmani, generally we have called, very nicely called Vishwakarma. So Vishwakarma means the one who creates, the one who is, let us say we call as, the one who is the architect of this universe. So there is a department, okay, called Vishwakarma department. We have nicely. In India, especially we have in North India, Vishwakarma Puja. In South India, we have got Ayudha Puja. These two are same. So in North India, there will be, Vishwakarma, like a elderly person with a beard and all these things, the statue is there. So Vishwakarma Puja will be done. On that day, all the, tools. Interestingly, a cobbler, that is what something to be really respected, especially in India. A cobbler will be worshipping that the old iron stand and a old shoe. Old used shoe, what the cobbler is going to stitch, make it repair, that cobbler will worship on that day. Means for a cobbler, that is God. Can you see this point? A old shoe is, you don't touch, before touching you wash your hand or what not. On that day you will see the cobbler will do worship. In fact, I have seen many cobblers, every day they do worship with that. That's something really nice. You can see, they will put chandanam and other thing, they worship and start. In fact, they don't have knowledge of Vedanta. In fact, they live in Vedanta if you look at. Something to be really respected. However, so here he says, Vishwakarmani. So the one who is a creator of this universe. In fact, once you become creator, so you have to create accordingly. So when you have to create accordingly, that means again, as we have discussed in different occasions differently, the creation has to be done in keeping with your karma and everybody's karma. So when you have to be born or you have to go through certain things in keeping with your karma, that means are you being controller or not? Are you being controlled or not? It is like, for example, you go to the court. The judge has to give you verdict. How the judge can give you verdict? In keeping with your karma, whatever you have committed. Now when the judge gives the verdict, will the judge control you or not? Control your moment or not? That's why every verdict is nothing but almost controlling your moment or not. If you feel guilty, okay, of course. You don't feel guilty, that's a different thing altogether. You pay fine or whatever. But still there is some type of control. That's why when you are in front of the judge, always there is a fear. God knows where is going to go, okay, so in which direction. Nobody knows. Depends upon the judge's mood. That's another point, okay. But here, nothing like that, okay. Here is being said, being the creator also controls. And being that, Vishwakarmani, then interestingly says that Namo Avijnaya. So when it says Avijnaya, that means what? The one who is, my salutations to whom? The one who is a destroyer of darkness. And of course, the one who is Ruchaye, one who is shining. And finally what? Who is he? Lokasakshine. So Lokasakshine means the one who witnesses the world. In fact, generally, no rituals, Vedic rituals, happens after sunset. In fact, a war that is in keeping with Dharma, to establish Dharma, cannot continue after sunset. If you look at Ramayana, that we are now talking, part of Ramayana, later on Mahabharata also, Ramayana war didn't happen, there was no attack from Rama's side after sunset. Even though other party, Ravana and his, like Indrajita, his son and other people, they have tried, they have done differently. But from Dharma end, no war can happen after sunset. In fact, in India we had, now things have gone away, especially as I attribute to Britishers. Many things they destroyed us, in us. Actually, in India, before Britishers, because problem is there is no record. That's the very sad part of India now. Nothing is in record now. We all are confused. Like if you ask most of the Indians do not know that the tea has come from outside India. They proudly feel tea is Indian product. I'm not telling you, you can ask any Indians, most of them, they do not know that tea is not our thing at all. There was no tea at all in India. Nobody was habituated to tea. Britishers, they brought tea. Like we have here in Uttarakhand, we have pines tree. Pines doesn't belong to India. Britishers brought that to destroy. Let me not get into the destruction part. What I am trying to highlight here is, because there is no record of anything. So also, we didn't have eating food concept in the night. This is the point I would like to say. Whatever food has to be taken only before sunset. Only you can have some drinks. Generally what they do is before going to bed, some milk, something you drink and go to bed. No solid food was allowed after night. Except we had some exceptions for children, elderly people and sick people. Because always they come under exceptions. And sometimes if you are a traveler, allowed. Whereas now what happens? Dinner start, especially I see in North India, okay? When I come to Odisha, I am sorry, sometimes I get fed up and frustrated. 7:38 will come snacks. And what is that snacks? Samosa. Okay, one samosa comes, I can accept, okay? Some 2-3 samosas you can have with chutney, with this, that, very nice, very tasty. And along with that some badai. All super heavy food, okay? Now imagine. Then if you have 8 o'clock this sort of food, what time you will have dinner? Night 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, you understand? So this is what habit we have developed. What I am highlighting here is, so the food, if it is taken when there is sunlight, you will discover your energy is entirely different. We'll be seeing this later on, because remember, that person has got manda buddhi, or you have a dull buddhi. Manda means dull, okay? Your thinking becomes dull. We'll see later on, will come this verse. When your digestive fire becomes manda, becomes dull. Just look at your happiness, your energy. Your energy is completely connected to your digestion. Can you see this point? If you are able to digest anything and everything, your energy is super duper. Simple logic. If you cannot eat anything, it means, I don't know, you lose the taste. I don't feel like eating. I am complete. That means what? Definitely your energy is not good, will not be good either. So that's why what is being highlighted here is that locus actione, the one who witnesses, that's why I am stretching this point. All the rituals are connected to Surya, and we say Surya is the witness. In fact, we were taught those days. Nowadays things have changed. Also we do try our best in the Vastu. We follow this concept in Vastu also. Same concept. Like when earlier days we used to go to use bathroom outside, toilet outside. First of all, we were not allowed to go after sunrise and after sunset. If you go, you cannot face or show your back to the sun. So always it will be south-north facing. Same concept we do follow with the putting of toilet. This is part of the Vastu. So the commode technically cannot face east or west. Of course, if there are exceptions, suppose if there is a temple towards south or north, or if here in this case like some other like river and a holy river, that is another exception comes. Like we have beautiful concept is here, especially if you see, I am shocked I have never experienced this, like in Makkah and Medina, let us say Makkah. All hotels in that country, no hotel toilet is facing towards that side. All hotels toilets, because I was told by somebody, that's why I have not experienced, I cannot really confidently can talk this point, impossible. So they have changed. It's not allowed. So okay, coming back to the point, locus actione means the one who witnesses everything. So we look at Surya as being Pratyaksha Devata. He watches everything. That's why all auspicious thing happens in front of him. That's why including marriage and everything happens in the daytime. Unless you are Asura or Gandharva you have. That is a different type of marriage, okay, we have, okay? But nowadays, don't worry, night marriage is better. And of course, in South India, one step ahead there, okay? I don't know where from they got this idea. So, miserly attitude. Before marriage, reception. At least, suppose after reception, no marriage happens, what you do? Boy says, basta, enough. Or girl says, no, enough. First, reception, then marriage. This is called South India, new trend in South India. Just to save some money, okay? Nothing else. Anyway, let me not get into. So, that's why locus actione means whatever we do, we always remember that Surya is witnessing. That's the point, nothing else. Now let's look at the next verse, okay? Nasayatveša vaibhutam tameva srujati prabhu payatveša tapatveša varshatveša gavhastivi nasayatveša vaibhutam tameva srujati prabhu payatveša tapatveša varshatveša gavhastivi. Now, says beautifully, Now, Esha Prabhu Bhutam Vai Nasayati. That means Esha Prabhu, this God, means sun god here. What he does? Bhutam Vai Nasayati, Srujati and Payati. 3 words he uses. That means this Surya first is called Srujati. We have to take, not first we cannot take as Nasayati. Nasayati means he destroys, okay? The one who destroys. We cannot do that. If there is no creation, how can he destroy, okay? First we have to take a Srujati. So that means this sun, first what it does, creates this universe. Of course, you know how it creates. It has to create only through his rays and warmth, nothing else. And after that it protects. Payati. And later on, Nasayati. So Nasayati is very nicely, that becomes the cause of its annihilation. And how does it do? Says very nicely, it annihilates, it destroys, or it brings back to its old format unto himself. So that means that's why Surya becomes here, Hiranyagarbha, as material cause. And how does it do? Later on he says beautifully, not to that. Okay. Then finally what he does? That Gavhastevihi tapati eshaha varshati. So Esha, this Surya, what he does? Gavhastevihi, with his rays, tapati. Tapati means heats up, warms up. And because it heats up, warms up, then what happens? Esha, he or this Lord, Varshati, rains. The rain comes. So that means, in short, that the Surya becomes the cause of our livelihood. The Surya becomes the cause of our sustenance. In fact, for each and everything, Surya becomes the direct God. Let us look at the next verse, then we will stop it. Esa sukteshu jagatti bhuteshu parinishthitah esa chaivagnihotam cha phalam chaivagnihottrinam esa sukteshu jagatti bhuteshu parinishthitah esa chaivagnihotam cha phalam chaivagnihottrinam. Says beautifully, this is Surya Esha bhuteshu sukteshu parinishthitah. Beautiful, this is a point to really look at. And of course later on, Jagarti Esha Eva. How? Let us look at. Now when you look at Surya from the standpoint of Prithvi, from this earth, is available only daytime, but definitely not available in night. So that means we are not keeping with touch with Surya at all. That means without Surya we cannot survive. We are talking so far. But during sunset, from the, let us say after sunset, from the earth standpoint, we don't have any contact with Surya. So that means we are able to manage 12 hours. So how can you say almost 12 hours? Then how can you say, and especially winter, much more longer? Then how can you say Surya is everything? So you have to tell something about that. So that to remove it very nicely says beautifully that Esha bhutesu suptesu iti parishtitha. So when all the bhutas, all the living beings are asleep. So when they are asleep, beautifully says, this Surya is present in all living beings as the inner vitality, and which makes the person to wake up. Can you see this point? So being the form of inner vitality. Now the Surya is in every living being while sleeping, especially in the night. And because of which the person again wakes up. So that means again Surya is there in us. So not only that, says beautifully, and once you wake up, keeps awaking, Yesha evaha Agnihotram, for whom Agnihotrina, and of course Phalamcha. Generally there is a small ritual called Agnihotra. It's supposed to be done every day, especially for householders. So he says beautifully that the fire altar, whatever is there in Agnihotram, which is alive all the time, they don't every day put a matchstick, okay? There is no matchstick. So the fire is supposed to be maintained. That's why maintaining something is not a joke. Creating is very easy. Destroying becomes much more easier, okay? Whereas maintaining anything is very tough. And maintenance proves your maturity. However, he says beautifully that the Agnihotra, the fire altar, itself is Surya. And not only that, the result of Agnihotra comes from Surya because Surya only gives. And of course, when a person who does Agnihotram, this fire ritual, because we say Yagyar by Vishnu, any fire ritual is Vishnu, and always Surya is being accepted as Vishnu, Aditya by Surya. So here, when you look at all these aspects together, we can say very carefully that the Surya being in the form of Agnihotra, that's why we say carefully, especially in fire ritual time, we look at fire as messenger, as a postman. How the postman carries your letter or whatever to one place to another place without involvement, and of course while carrying any letter get something, okay, tips or salary or whatever, definitely has to get. Those days in India tips were more, okay, than salary. There was no salary, only tips. In fact, if any money order comes, you have to pay. There is no choice, okay. Those days you cannot think of. I remember. Same thing also in fire ritual we have that while doing the fire ritual, when we offer Indra Yaswaha, when we offer Indra, oh fire god, take this thing to Indra, will take. Then in between we say Agna Yaswaha, oh Agni, oh fire god, you also, this is for you, okay, once in a while. Especially when you look at that fire is going to go down. Om Bhu Swaha, Om Bhu Swaha, Om Bhu Swaha. I hope you have observed or not all these things. The moment we discover fire is going to go down little bit, okay, that time little bit pour on this, Bhu Swaha. So to make sure that hey, you get your salary, you get your tips, now be very fast, deliver everything. So in Agni or in Yajna, fire becomes the postman, let us say, whereas Surya becomes everything. This is the concept is being highlighted here. So now Surya takes care of everything. If this is the case, now we will see more of it in tomorrow. Please close your eyes.